metaverse is a big buzz now, but for everyone who missed it, what is it? What's the metaverse?
Yeah, as you say, this is the buzzword, no? And we have been hearing the word metaverse with increasing force for a few months. But the truth is that for more than a decade, people have been talking about it and how it is going to shape world culture and revolutionize human relations. Metaverse is just the next generation of the internet, describing an immersive and multisensory experience in the applied use of various devices and technological developments on internet. In fact, last month, in the CES 2022, spoke of the importance of starting to target efforts towards a market that is estimated to be worth around $400,000 million in 2028. And I think companies like Facebook, that last year focused their entire corporate strategy under a new brand, Meta, link it with the metaverse, is an example of companies that have already begun to shape what their future will be and to take giant steps in the battle for the new consumer, as always. And we have to see if your company is ready to eat the cake.
I mean, but the first association I would have, okay, metaverse, these tech topics, right? But you are representing L'Oreal, so it's about beauty, about health, right? All those topics. How is this relevant for these real world touchable products like you present?
Yeah. No, totally agree. I mean, the first question maybe we can ask is an easy question. Would you pay for a virtual lipstick? So yes, we think yes. Cosmetics, like other industries, claims its plot in this new environment because we seek to connect and engage with the consumer, but also, of course, monetize. That I think this is the important part. Always make money. With this, make business. In fact, one of our brands created a virtual makeup, L'Oreal Paris, but it's true that it works as a filter, to print, for example, in a Zoom video call. As the metaverse takes shape, that immersive and multisensory future of internet, the big companies are fighting, like L'Oreal, to get prominence, and begin to test outside, for example, in video games space. So some sectors have a step before us, I think, such, for example, fashion, are clear about it and they have been exploring for some time. Beauty is newer, but I think combines well with virtual experiences, thanks to the playful nature of color. So there is evidence that it is a demand among the millions of people who use, for example, now, Instagram, Snapchat's filters every day to transform their selfies into avatars. So the opportunity could be significant for our sector, especially we think in the makeup category.
Mm-hmm. So basically, can I imagine today you produce products, which you put physically on your face, so you are more beautiful. And in the future, you produce a piece of software which advance your virtual appearance?
Exactly. It's going to be exactly like that. I think we need to fulfill consumer needs and behaviors, So one of the trends we see is that the desire of consumers to express themselves in the world. So this is another world. So we need to give them the tools, the materials they need to express the way they want to be in that universe.
So then there is this topic of customer experience, right? Where we see basically everything not from the lens of is this product good or bad? Does it serve the purpose? But more like what's the whole experience of from needing it to purchasing it to trying to buy it again and so forth. So how does customer experience look like for a cosmetic brand in a metaverse? Or maybe maybe let's start first in the real world. How do you define yourself, the space of customer experience for cosmetic brands?
Okay, for us, and it's not different from the current world or the off world or on world, for it is said that customer experience is the new brand, and we really believe it, because L'Oreal Group is the house of brands. It's a house of brands, so we sell brands, not only products. For us, it's more important brands, no? So customer experience is key. According, probably that study, that famous study of Forbes, that it said 80% of the business, they think that they offer super experience, but only 8% of consumers believe this, So in this world, which is not on and off, this is an O+O world, so go omni-channel or probably go home. In L'Oreal, we focus on technology, brands, and point of sales. These are the three axes. Mm-hmm. And in L'Oreal, we used to say that there is a trinity in working with customer experience. And this is innovation, so the act of doing something that did not exist before. Second, experience, like an event or occurrence that leaves an impression, a strong impression on someone. And the third, and very important, to be memorable, that will be remembered or worth remembering, or even in this world, worth sharing. No, we need the people to share. So in this direction, we are totally aligned. No.
Yeah.
And if you want to know about how this relates, with the metaverse, our business model is focused on enhancing this customer experience. And we think we can do this developing advocacy. So this is growing our community of followers in the metaverse or wherever to share their experiences, their knowledge, and tips. In other words, create a strong beauty community where users can engage in a friendly discussion, ask and answer questions, share photos, recommend products, and connect with like-minded shoppers.
Estefania, I could believe that many people are still skeptical about the metaverse. I'm also a little bit older, so I remember it's nearly 20 years now when there was Second Life.
Oh yeah.
A virtual. Yeah, it was not with VR glasses, but simply by the 3D environment in the browser. Yeah, and you could, I think also some Nike also opened a store there. It's already 20 years ago, but this went bankrupt. So what's different now? What will make it successful now?
Yeah, no, very good question, Fran. Second Life, I think it was like the 2.0 first metaverse, no? Like a proto metaverse, and they were very visionary, in fact, no. But I think there were things. I mean, there are really two things that they are external to the technology development itself that have happened recently. No, for example, first is timing. It's not the same to do this now than 20 years ago. One is obviously because of COVID, where there has been the worry that maybe we would have to shift from socialized entertainment activities online. No, so we have this mindset, and maybe not our generation, but Gen Z probably they have this in their minds. And now. I think another very important thing is there are a lot of big companies trying to figure out how they can make some money from that. But maybe it was not in the past, no? Maybe just thinking in the video games. And the other can be simple, but I think it's very strong, is Facebook, which is claiming that it's an important thing. And even he renamed themselves to try to align with it, no? So I think all these things are important. Technology, maybe also, no, such as that we are going to use.
I'm very much reminded to actually two other technology developments. One is the telephone. 1993, Apple introduced a product called Newton. And it was basically the first iPhone, yeah. But it was a kind of a handheld device, right? But it was too early. Yeah, the technology was not ready enough to be that the customer experience was good enough for this product. So they needed some technical innovations like touch screens and stuff to make it really valuable to customers. So and this took 13 years, right? 13 years after the Newton came the iPhone. And the other story is about artificial intelligence. Yeah, so neural networks are around. Good neural networks are around since the mid-90s, right? But the real boom comes 20 years later. And sometimes several developments, several technologies need to come together so it can grow. Right? So, Estefania, how do we do CX insights then in the metaverse? What changes for the insight industry?
Well, in theory, it could be a revolutionary platform for customer experience. After all, the metaverse is a large representation of data that companies collect about their customers, and customer data is a top CX priority for companies. The metaverse could be used to better understand customer behaviors and preference and to create a more personalized customer experience. So I think in this way, I think it's going to be, it's not easy, but it's clear, no? The metaverse could also be used to identify trends and to make predictions about customer behavior. So in practice, it's true that the metaverse has yet to take off. There are a few reasons for this. First, the user experience of most metaverse platforms they are often quite clunky and difficult to navigate. Second, there is a lack of compelling reasons for users to spend time in the metaverse. So here, I think our industry, market research, we need to understand their needs, their motivations, their likes, and finally, most metaverse platforms are gearing toward developers or niche audiences rather than day-to-day business users. So I think this is key for making bigger and not a niche.
Yeah. I mean,